Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my September wrap up. So it is the beginning of September and it's not the first day of September or anything like that, but I wanted to go ahead and come on here and do an intro because I always like forget to do the intros, but I wanted to go ahead and come on and intro this video. But this is going to be my September wrap up vlog for the month, and since it's the beginning of September, I'm not exactly sure how many books I'm planning on reading this month or I'm going to be reading this month, but I do have a feeling that it is going to be a really good reading month. So I am excited and hope you guys are excited to see all the books that I end up reading in the month of September. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the vlog. Hello, so today is September 2nd and I have finished my first book for the month, and that is Steel King by Devney Perry. This is the first book in the Clifton Forge series and I've decided to give this book 3.5 stars. So this book follows our main girl Bryce, and she is a reporter for a small town newspaper in the small town called Clifton Forge. Her dad is the owner of the newspaper. She was a like big city news anchor and she has decided to come settle in this small town and work for her dad at the newspaper. There is a murder that happened and she thinks that this motorcycle club is behind it, and she is trying to dig up dirt on this motorcycle club. That's where she meets our main guy, Dash, and Dash's dad is convicted of the murder, or well, I guess not convicted, but he's arrested for the murder, and she is basically reporting on this murder and trying to dig into this motorcycle club, and Dash is like, girl, don't do that, and she's just like, nah, I'm gonna do it. And so basically it's just them kind of being like enemies or rivals, I guess, and her investigating and him trying to prove that his dad didn't commit this murder, also trying to hide secrets of the motorcycle club and all that. So this is a romantic suspense and I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I had a good time reading it, but if a man got me arrested, I would not go back to him ever. So that's my only gripe, but overall I really enjoyed this. I read it in 2 sittings. Like I literally picked it up, read half of it, went to bed, and then literally the next morning, like this morning, read the second half, and like I just couldn't put it down. And that's just something that I love about Devney Perry's book, is that they're just so easy to read and so digestible that I read them in like 1 to 2 sittings. And so yeah, but 3.5 stars to this one. Starting out, I feel like good for the month. So I'm excited to see where my reading goes elsewhere this month, but I will update you guys once I finish another book. Hello, so today is September 3rd and I have finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and I have decided to give this book 4.5 stars. This book was so good. It follows Brianna, who is a emergency room doctor, and Jacob, who is also an emergency room doctor, and Brianna is going for like the chief of emergency medicine or something along the lines of that, and Jacob comes in and she thinks that he is going after the job that she wants. So they have sort of like enemies or rivals really to lovers type storyline with that at the beginning, but then Brianna's brother also is in need of a kidney transplant and she is not a match, so she is basically trying to find someone to donate a kidney for her brother. And she has been through this like awful divorce where her husband was cheating on her, and so she's trying to get over that, as well as like dealing with this horrible thing that's happening to her brother, while also finding out that the job that she wanted might be quote unquote stolen from her. And so she starts this kind of like rival type relationship with Jacob, even though Jacob does not want the job, and he just so happened to come in to this hospital and he has really bad social anxiety, and so it makes him seem more standoffish and aloof than he actually is or is meaning to be, just because he has like problems with social situations. And honestly, this book was so good. Like you really got into Jacob's head and his point of view and what it's like dealing with anxiety on a daily basis, and to this extent. And I really enjoyed this book, and like I said, giving it 4 stars. Abby Jimenez is obviously like an autobiography author for me. I read every single book that she has written, and I will continue to read every single book that she will write, because her books are so good and so hard-hitting, and they deal with tough topics but in a way that is so well done and will have you smiling at the end. And I love that about her book. So really enjoyed this. 4.5 stars. And yeah, so I will update you guys once I finish another book. Hello, so today is September 4th and I wanted to come on here and update that I finished a book today. So I finished The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, and I've decided to give this 3.75 stars. So this is a young adult dystopian dystopian novel that follows these kids that have these abilities and have been sent to these camps where the government is trying to control the kids and not have them in the population. And we're following our main girl, Ruby, who has been sent to one of these camps, and one day someone comes to break her out and she's not exactly sure why, and it's basically following her going around in this dystopian world while she's running from the government and trying to figure out who she can trust and who she can't. And overall, I enjoyed this for the most part. Like I said, I gave it 3.75 stars. I didn't super love the ending because I felt like the ending kind of made it to where, you know, you had to go to the next one. Like, not that it was a cliffhanger, but I felt like the ending just wasn't right really for what was going on, if that makes sense. I don't know, but overall, you know, it was pretty good. I don't know if the series is going to be for me in the end. Like, honestly, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I like this better than the Alexander Bracken that I've read previously, but yeah, I don't know if this is something that I normally would like gravitate towards now, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I don't know. 3.75 stars, would recommend it to a younger audience. And yeah, so that's it for this book. I don't know, that's so weird. But I'll update you guys once I finish another book. Hello, so today is September 5th. I wanted to come on here and update that I finished another book. So I finished The Love Wager by Lynn Painter, and I've decided to give this book 3.5 stars. So this book was good, but it just wasn't like my favorite book that I've ever read. Like, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like super amazing, if you will. But I definitely would recommend it. It is a fake dating, friends to lovers type of situation. So basically we're following Hallie, and she is a bartender at this wedding where she runs into Jack, who is the best man and brother of the bride. And Jack is actually seeing Hallie at a ring store where he was getting an engagement ring, and so she had met him there previously, and then his girlfriend gets like super jealous that they're talking, and he realizes that maybe she's not the one and ends up breaking up with the girlfriend that he was going to propose to, realizing that he was just kind of going through the motions and that he didn't actually want to get married to that girl. And so he pulls Hallie into the kitchen where they start drinking and they end up having a one-night stand. A few days later, they both download a dating app where they reconnect and make this love wager where they will try to figure out who can find love first, and there will be prizes for whoever does. And they're basically holding each other accountable to make sure that they are like still going on these dates and trying to actually find love. And yeah, like I said, it was cute. Honestly, not my favorite romance that I've read, which I have read quite a few romances this month so far. So out of the 3 of romances that I've read so far this month, this one has not been my favorite. So yeah, but I still did enjoy this, and I would possibly like to read Mr. Wrong Number. That's the first book in the like companion series that is this book. But yeah, so that is my update for books read, and I will update you guys again once I finish another book. So today is September 9th, and I have just finished a book. So I just finished Things We Left Behind by Lucy Gore. This came out on the 5th, and literally as soon as I got it, I was like, I cannot wait to pick this up. I need to read this now. So I started reading it, and I just finished it today, and I am going with a solid 4-star rating for this book. If you don't know, this is the 3rd book in the Knock 'Em Out series. It follows Sloane and Lucien and basically gets into their like backstory of why they were fighting so much in the first 2 books, and I really enjoyed this. Like I said, I feel like it was a solid 4-star read. It definitely was not my favorite in the series. I have to say, I definitely feel like my favorite is Things We Never Got Over. I just feel like that one just hit different, and this one was still really good. It just was not Things We Never Got Over, and I just have to say that one's probably my favorite in the series. But like I said, still really enjoyed this. Really loved seeing all the other characters from the past 2 books showing up in this one, and just the plot was really good. The only thing that I do have to say about the plot is I feel like things were wrapped up a little bit too quickly and too neatly, if you will, but overall still really enjoyed, and definitely would recommend this book. Hello, so today is September 10th, and I wanted to come on here and update that I have finished a book. So I have finished Never Fade by Alexander Bracken, and I've decided to give this 3.5 stars. So this is the 2nd book in the Darkest Minds trilogy, and we are following Ruby, and she has these powers, and she has been sent to this camp. So obviously with this being the 2nd book, I can't really go into detail about this book because of the fact that it is the second book in a series and it would spoil the first one, but obviously these books are a little bit older, and so I feel like a lot of people have probably read these books. They don't have these covers anymore. They have like newer covers, I don't know, but 3.5 stars. I enjoyed this one. It definitely felt very similar to The Darkest Minds. It almost felt like copy and paste, just in like a different setting, and then like the ending was like a little bit different. And I mean, the ending definitely had it to where I wanted to know, I guess, kind of how the series is going to end and what is going to happen to these characters. There was unfortunately a death at the end that was very just like sad, because I really liked that character, but you know, that happens in these kind of books. But now that I have finished this book, I'm going to be moving on and reading another book, so I will update again once I finish another book. Hello. So today is September 11th and I wanted to come on here and update that I finished another book today. So I finished Mantras and Minotaurs by Ashley Bennett, and I've decided to give this 4 stars. So this is the third book in the Leviathan Fitness series. It is a like small town monster romance, and each book follows like a different couple. So it's like this is the mother of the 2 other books, if that makes sense. So it's like the first one followed the daughter, and then the second one followed the son, and the third one followed like their mom. So this was basically her romance where she like meets a minotaur on a dating app, and they just, you know, basically hit it off, and it's like a very much insta-lovey type of situation, very spicy, and honestly it was pretty good. The writing was really good. I really enjoyed the writing, and like the story itself was pretty good. However, if you are someone who doesn't like separation in book, then this probably isn't going to be a book for you, because they were doing like a long distance thing for most of the book, and I know some people just don't really gravitate towards books with like distance and stuff in it. So yeah, but if you like monster romances, then I definitely would recommend these. They are really good, and I really like Ashley Bennett's writing style. So yeah, 4 stars to that one. Had a good time, and yeah, so I'll update again when I finish another book. Hello. So today is September 14th and I have finished a book. So I finished Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, and I'm going to be giving this, I'm between like 3.5 and probably like 3.75. I think I'll probably end up going with 3.5 though. And yeah, so this is a dark romance book, and this book we're following Erica, also known as Rika, and we're following Michael. And Rika and Michael are like, their families are like really good friends, and Rika's father has died, and she is living with her mother, who hasn't really handled her father's death very well. So her mother's not very present. She is like coping with like alcohol and drugs and things like that, but she stays a lot with Michael's family, and she is actually even Michael's brother's girlfriend at one point. And so basically Michael and Rika have this like connection where they have just been circling each other for years, and something happens where Michael's friends get put in jail, and now they're out of jail and they want revenge, and Michael wants revenge as well. So he tries to get his revenge basically, and this was not what I was expecting at all. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this, which this was low-key kind of a sports romance too at the same time, because like Michael is a professional basketball player, which okay, but yeah, I don't know, 3.5 stars. I definitely think that I'm gonna pick up the next one because it follows Kai, and I really want to see Kai's story. I feel like that's gonna be a really good one because I really liked Kai and I really liked his character, so I definitely think I will be picking up his book. But I thought that this was gonna be a reverse harem, and it definitely is not. So yeah, I don't know, but overall it was okay. Definitely not my favorite Penelope Douglas that I've read. Honestly, this is the second Penelope Douglas that I've read, and yeah, this one was just okay, but I definitely will be continuing on with the series and pick up the next book. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on Corrupt. Hello, so today is September 20th and I have finished a book. So I finished Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I've decided to give this 4.5 stars. I really loved this book. I started it just randomly. I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna pick this book up, and I did, and I have absolutely just like eaten it up. I was obsessed with it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't wait to get home so I could read it, and I just loved it. So I gave it 4.5 stars, and I am so excited to continue on with this series and read more books from Elsie Silver. So if you don't know, Flawless is a cowboy romance that follows Rhett, who's a bull rider, and Summer, who is a lawyer at her dad's management firm. So like her dad is Rhett's manager, and so Summer is tasked to be his like babysitter to keep him out of trouble because he has gotten caught saying that he hates milk when one of his biggest sponsors for his bull riding is a dairy like company or like dairy farm. And so Summer is basically there to just keep him out of trouble, and I really enjoyed it. It was a super quick read. The writing was like so digestible, and I just found myself flying through the book, and I felt like I couldn't put it down. And I'm so excited to continue on with the series and read more books from Elsie Silver. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for now, and I will update the next time that I finish a book. So today is September 24th, and I wanted to come on here and update that I've actually finished 2 books today. So the first book that I finished today was Powerless by Elsie Silver. I finished this like 4 minutes after midnight, so I'm just counting it as the 24th and not the 23rd. But I finished Powerless, and this is the 3rd book in the Chestnut Springs series. This is a small town romance following Jasper, who is a professional hockey player, and Salone, who is a professional ballerina, and they are childhood friends. Jasper has a kind of tortured past, if you will. Some things happened with him to where his family has basically abandoned him, and he ends up moving in with Sloane's uncle. And so basically we're following them two, and we're kind of learning about how they met and some things that kind of happened in their childhood to make them friends, and progressing their relationship until they acknowledge that they have feelings for each other. And I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. It has been my least favorite out of the Chestnut Springs books that I have read so far, but overall I still did enjoy myself and would recommend this series and this book. But yeah, so then the second book that I ended up finishing today is Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and this is the second book in the Dance of Thieves duology, and I ended up giving this book 4 stars. This book was more fun, I would say, than Dance of Thieves. Okay, well, I don't really want to say fun, but it was more high stakes, I feel like, than Dance of Thieves, and I just feel like there was more action and adventure in this book, and I just enjoyed it a lot more. If you don't know, Dance of Thieves is about a girl named Cassie who is tasked to find this like man that her queen has sent her to find him and bring him back for his trial. And in the process of her looking for this man, she meets Jay, who is the patre of the town that she is in, and they end up being captured together and having to survive in the woods. Well, it's not really the woods, it's more like the desert, but it is kind of woodsy some points too. But basically they have to survive together to get back to civilization, and they start out as enemies, and then their relationship progresses. And so that's basically where Dance of Thieves starts out. Obviously I can't really get into the premise of this without spoiling it, but 4 stars, really enjoyed this. Would probably recommend the series. Would recommend the series if you're looking for young adult enemies to lovers. But those are the 2 books that I finished today. I still have like 6 days left in the month, so I do see myself possibly finishing maybe like 1 to 2 more books. I'm having such a good reading month this month. This is probably the best reading month that I've had in a while, and so hopefully I can see myself getting a couple more books read this month. But if not, that's completely fine, and this might be the last time that you see me updating about a book. But if not, then I will update you guys when I finish another book. Today is September 30th, which means that it is the last day of the month, and I have just finished my last book of September. I just finished One Pucked Up Pack by Sarah Blue, and I just had to give this book 3.5 stars. So this is a hockey Omegaverse reverse harem book that follows our main girl Charlotte, and she is just very like down on her luck. She has like really bad timing and just feels like her life just is happening at the wrong time, if that makes sense. And so she meets these 3 guys who are hockey players on the road to becoming professional, and she's worried that they're gonna leave her behind because they're trying to get professional. And honestly, that's really it. I don't know, I love how I'm like forgetting the major plot point while it's still very fresh in my brain. I don't know, but it was fun. It was pretty long. It was over 400 pages, which if you remember back in like June, I think it was, when I read that one by Emily Rath, that one was a really long one too. That one was a really long hockey reverse harem, and I hated that book. But this one was okay. It wasn't bad. I had a good time reading it. I read it really quickly. I started it last night and got really sucked into it because it was so just like easy to read. Like the writing was just so easy to read and to digest. So if you are interested in like the Omegaverse type subgenre, I guess it is, then I would recommend checking out Sarah Blue. Her writing is just so easy to read, and her storylines are pretty easy to fall into and get captured by. So yeah, but since that is going to be the last book that I read in the month of September, I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog here. So I've had the best reading month that I've had in a while. Like, I read 16 books in the month of September, which is the most books that I've read in a while. So I'm really happy with those numbers, and I definitely read quite a few physical books this month, or like books that I own, and so I'm really happy that I have been able to read more books that I own, because that is the goal. That is what I've been trying to do lately. So overall, I'm really happy with this month. Let me know down below if you have read any of the books that I've talked about in this video. But that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me, and I will have all of my social medias linked down in the description, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.